You want to maintain your motivation. You need it. And you're desperate for it to just stay. But here's what keeps happening. You have been meditating, doing the inner work, shifting your mindset. And it's finally working. Opportunities are finally showing up, things are clicking, and you're making real progress. But then, out of nowhere, just wake up one day, and all your motivation is just gone. And you can't figure out why, because you are finally getting somewhere. I've been there so many times. I'd have this incredible week, feeling abundant, taking aligned action, seeing results. And then, around a week in or 8 days in, I suddenly can't get myself to do anything. I've got brain fog, my emotion feels flat, and there's a voice whispering in my head saying, what's the point? What's the point? And then I would think, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why can't I just keep going? But here's what I learned. My motivation didn't disappear. My nervous system just hit the emergency brake. That's all it did. See, your body has been conditioned to a specific baseline of normal. Okay? Maybe it's financially struggling, working hard but not seeing results, or even feeling stuck. Maybe you have normalized those. So when you start operating beyond the baseline, when you start feeling confident, abundant, excited, your nervous system doesn't celebrate. It panics. Because to your body, familiar equals safe. Okay? Even if familiar is miserable. Even if familiar has kept you stuck for years. So it triggers a shutdown. The motivation loss, the heaviness, the thoughts flooding in saying, this is not working. That is not failure. That is your body trying to pull you back to your old reality. Because that's what it knows is safe. And during the first week or two, that is when everything feels impossible. Because that is the bridge between your old reality and your new one. Okay? And you've probably quit here multiple times thinking that you failed. But this is actually just the withdrawal phase. And it happens before every breakthrough. Because your body is detoxing from familiar patterns. And it is uncomfortable as hell. It's so uncomfortable. But I need you to understand something. In that moment is where most people quit. Right at that phase. They've done the courses, read the books, been to coaching, retreats. They understood manifestation intellectually. But when they hit this withdrawal phase, they collapse back because they don't understand the biological mechanism behind it. They think they're failing, but they're actually so close to a breakthrough. So today, I'm going to show you exactly why your motivation disappears right when you're making progress. And I want to talk about what's happening in your nervous system during this phase and the exact timeline of the withdrawal pattern. But most importantly, how to move through this phase without collapsing back into your old patterns. Because once you understand that losing motivation isn't a stop sign, but it's a marker showing you that you're in the transformation zone, everything changes. Everything changes. So if you've been making progress and suddenly lost all motivation and you couldn't figure out why, this is why. Okay? So there is this thing called a familiar reality filter, okay? It is a familiar reality ceiling. And your nervous system has programmed the range of what it considers normal. And the moment you exceed that range, it freaks out and starts to pull you back down. Now, most people think motivation is about willpower, discipline. They think, I just need to push harder. Or I need to find my why again. What is my why? I'm sorry, that's wrong. This has nothing to do with your willpower. This is your biology doing exactly what it's designed to do. Keep us in the familiar. Now, here's what's actually happening. You've done the work, meditations, inner healing, mindset shifts, finally started seeing results, But out of nowhere, you just can't get yourself to do anything. That's not laziness. That's not you being lazy. This is definitely not a lack of discipline. Okay? Listen carefully. This is your nervous system conditioned to a specific range of normal. Maybe struggling financially, working hard but not seeing results, feeling stuck. So when you start operating beyond that baseline, your body interprets it as danger. And it doesn't matter what you it doesn't matter if you want to be successful consciously. Your biology, your body is designed to keep you in the familiar, even if familiar is struggle. So the motivation loss is your body's emergency brake, trying to pull you back to what it's known as safe, the familiar reality. Okay? I gotta explain this because once you understand it, you can't unsee it. So, your brain has something called a reticular activating system, or in simplicity's sake, we're just going to call it the RAS, okay? The reticular activating system. This is the filter that determines what information gets through to your conscious awareness and what gets filtered out. So your RAS is programmed by your past experiences. So if you've spent years struggling financially, your RAS is tuned to look for evidence of struggle. It filters reality through that lens. That's when you start making progress, when you start feeling abundant, when opportunities start showing up, your RAS goes, hold up. This does not match our original programming. This doesn't feel like us. And it starts filtering evidence that you're not making progress. Okay? It highlights that one thing that went wrong and filters out the 10 things that went right. That's why, in the middle of your best week, you'll suddenly focus on that one email that didn't get a response, or that one opportunity that didn't play out as you expected. Your RAS is trying to restore you to your familiar reality. And I remember this happening in my own life like 3 years ago. I was in 6 figures worth of debt, and that was my baseline. That was my normal. So when I started meditating, doing the identity work, I had my first week where I felt abundant, like genuinely abundant. Not just thinking positive thoughts, but my body went into full panic mode after that. Okay? After a week in, I woke up with this crushing anxiety. Couldn't focus. It was hard for me to meditate. Every thought was, this isn't real. You're still broke. What are you doing, dude? But here's what's really happening. In that week, I had 3 new clients. I had money coming in. Objectively, things were working out. But my RAS was filtering out for evidence of struggle. So instead of celebrating my new clients, I was obsessing over the one person who said no, instead of feeling abundant about the money that was coming in. So I was anxious about the debt, that the debt was still there. And so my nervous system was trying to restore me to my familiar reality of broken anxious, because that's what felt safe in my body. Okay? I even had a moment where I was making consistent money. My business was growing, and I was genuinely feeling good for the first time in years. And I remember one morning, I woke up, and I just couldn't get out of bed. Not because I was tired, I slept well. But my body felt heavy, like gravity increased its weight overnight. And I was just there, laying there, thinking, damn, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just keep going? And then I remembered, this is my nervous system trying to hit the brakes. Okay? I've been operating beyond my familiar reality for about 10 days now. This is the withdrawal phase. So listen to this. Instead of making it mean something about me, which is what I usually did before, oh my God, it's me. No, I got up, did my meditation anyway, and kept moving. And within 24 hours, no, not even that. I think about 3 hours, that heaviness moved away. So understand that your motivation didn't disappear. Your body just detected that you are leaving the familiar zone, and it's trying to bring us back. And that's it. That's it. Once you see it, you stop making it mean something about you. It never is. You stop thinking that you're broken or undisciplined, but you recognize that it's just your biology doing its job. And you just keep moving away. Okay? Keep moving anyway. By the way, if you want to work with me on this, If you want my help identifying exactly where your nervous system is hitting the brakes and how to move through it, then check out the link in the description. You can speak to one of my team members and they can help you map this out. Okay, we call it identity frequency mapping, and it's specifically designed to identify these patterns and clear them. Okay, link in the description. Speak with one of my team members. So here's where this gets really interesting, and here is where you get your power back. Okay, because once you understand the chemical mechanism behind this, you realize you're not broken. Your body's just doing its job. And stop making it about yourself. I don't want you to make it about yourself. So, listen carefully. When you make real progress, you are generating different emotional chemistry than what your body is used to. You are feeling confident, right? You're feeling excited, hopeful. Emotions your nervous system hasn't experienced consistently before. And after a few days of this new chemistry, your body goes, hold up. This doesn't feel like us. And it triggers a shutdown response. Suddenly, you experience motivation loss, brain fog, that feeling of what's the point? These are not signs that you're failing. These are signs your nervous system is trying to restore you to your old baseline, because that's what feels safe in your body. So, let's go deeper at the cellular level, because this is where it gets wild. Okay? Every cell in your body has receptor sites on its surface. Okay? You can think of them as like docking stations. Okay? Docking stations for specific chemicals, hormones, neurotransmitters, neuropeptides. Okay? Stay with me. So, if you've been anxious for years, your cells have grown thousands of receptor sites specifically shaped to receive stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline. That's why you're fucking rushing all the time. Oh my God, I need to do this. I feel so behind. That's adrenaline. Okay? Your cells are literally addicted to those chemicals, and they are waiting for their daily fix, like a drug addict. So when you're meditating, doing the inner work, generating new chemistry of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, feel-good chemicals, your cells go, what the fuck is this? Where's our stress chemicals? Where's cortisol? Where's the adrenaline? We love the rush. And they start sending distress signals to your brain. We need our fix. Generate some anxiety right now. Create some stress. Get us back to normal. That's why you start having a great week. Then suddenly, you create drama out of nowhere. You pick a fight with your partner. Create a business problem. You'll obsess about something that doesn't matter. And that is your cells demanding their chemical fix. And your brain is trying to manufacture reasons to give it to them. Wild, right? This has nothing to do with you. This is just biology. But here's a trap. When this happens, most people make it mean something about them. They think, oh my God, I'm not disciplined enough. I gotta go harder. I'm self-sabotaging again. Oh my God, maybe I'm not meant for this. No. You're not self-sabotaging. You're in chemical withdrawal. So if you've spent years feeling anxious about money, your body is chemically addicted to that anxiety. When you start feeling abundant, your body goes into withdrawal, and it manufactures reasons to feel anxious again. So what are you going to do differently? This time, recognize it for what it is. And don't make it mean anything about you. Just say, simply, listen to this. Oh my God, it's my nervous system trying to pull me back to the familiar. I'm so sorry, it's uncomfortable, but we're not going back. That's how simple it is. Okay? Let's break it down step by step. Step 1, notice when the shutdown happens. Okay? Oh, I was feeling great, now I feel like shit. I feel heavy, anxious, unmotivated. Then you're going to name it. Oh, it's just you call it out. It's just my nervous system trying to restore me to the familiar. Next, don't engage with those thoughts, and they're going to come, okay? Remember, they are not your truth. They are just patterns of behavior, withdrawal symptoms. Then next, take an aligned action anyway. Meditate, journal, move your body. Something that reinforces your new frequency. And then remind yourself, this discomfort is just temporary. My body is just adjusting to the new baseline. That is it. works every single time. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple in this channel. That's what we're all about. And I remember one time I understood it's always in my car. I always have the best epiphanies in my car. Always. Anyway, I had this realization. Oh my God, I'm not broken. That is a big realization. My body just thinks abundance is dangerous because I've been struggling and efforting and hustling for so long. I laughed because it's like, you know, when you smack your head and it's like, duh. That's the best feeling in the world. It's just like, oh, it's so absurd. Like, oh my God, my body was just trying to protect me from success. Like, no, Kevin, stay broke. That's safe. We know how to be broke. But once I saw it, I could not unsee it. And it changed everything. So listen carefully. This is going to blow your mind. The moment you lose motivation is actually the moment you are closest to breakthrough. There is a predictable pattern. And once you see it, you'll recognize it every single time. Okay? So days 1 to 7, you feel amazing, you're energized, inspired, taking action effortlessly. You're like, this is it. I finally figured it out. Then days 8 to 14 hit, and suddenly everything feels heavy, pointless, impossible. This is when thoughts flood in. This is not working. Maybe you're not meant for this. I should just go back and accept my current reality. And you probably quit here multiple times thinking you failed. But this phase is actually the bridge between your old reality and your new one. And your body is detoxing from the familiar patterns, and it's uncomfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable because your nervous system is literally reorganizing itself around a new baseline. So when you are changing your personality, you are changing your personal reality. And your body resists that change because change equals danger to your biology. Okay? What do I write this? Change equals danger. Okay? The first couple of days, you can expect like a honeymoon phase. You're excited, you're motivated, everything feels possible. Your body's still running on the momentum of your decision to change. Then, still feeling good, but you notice some resistance creeping up. Maybe you skip a meditation or two. Maybe you have a moment of doubt. But overall, you're still moving forward. Okay? But usually between the day 8 to 14 phase is where things start to get hard. That's when your motivation drops, brain fog kicks in, and you wake up thinking, this is your body's first major attempt to pull you back. Okay? But during this phase as well is the hardest phase. This is where most people quit because their thoughts are relentless. This is not working. You're wasting your time. Just go back. Okay? This is when you know your body's in full withdrawal mode and it's manufacturing every reason for you to return to the familiar state. Now, days 15 to 21, you make the breakthrough. Okay? If you can make it without collapsing back, something shifts. The resistance starts to ease and the motivation begins to return. Your body is starting to accept the new baseline. Okay? And then days 22 to 30, this is when the frequency starts to feel normal. It's clicked in. You're not fighting anymore. The actions that felt impossible for the first 2 weeks feel natural. And this is when you know your transformation is locking in. I had a client who experienced this exact pattern. She'd been meditating consistently, doing the inner work, and around day 10, she sends me a voice message. Okay? She's crying. She feels like she was going to vomit. She was shaking uncontrollably. And she's like, something's wrong. Kevin, something's wrong. I don't know what's happening. I was doing so well, and now I feel like I'm falling apart. My body's shaking, I can't stop it. She feels sick. Okay? Should I stop meditating? And I listened to her message, and I could hear it. She was in the withdrawal phase. 8 to 14. Okay? Her body, listen to this. This is what was happening. Her body was purging the old chemistry. Sometimes it can happen intensely. Sometimes it can happen subtly. So I messaged her back. Okay. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong here. Your body's just purging old emotional chemistry. That's the withdrawal phase. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. Okay. Don't stop. Keep breathing through it and let it move through you. She did. She stayed with it. See, she nearly quit. She let the shaking happen. She let the emotions move through her body without making them mean anything. And literally, a couple of hours later, sends me another message. Kevin, I don't know what just happened, but I feel like I'm healed. Like something shifted. I feel lighter. I feel free. I feel like a completely different person. That is what happens when you don't collapse back during the withdrawal phase. So, here's what I want you to know. The people who break through are simply the ones who recognize this pattern and just keep on going during this phase. Knowing the motivation will return once their nervous system adjusts to the new baseline. You're not losing motivation. You're in the withdrawal phase, and it happens right before every breakthrough. And if you can just hold steady for those 2 to 3 weeks without collapsing back to your familiar reality, the motivation returns, and now it's becoming your new baseline, not your old one. That is the difference between temporary breakthroughs and permanent transformation. Now, let's talk about what separates people who create lasting change from people who keep cycling through the same patterns. And it's not about willpower. It's not about being more disciplined, but it's about understanding that your nervous system's primary job is survival. And to our body, survival means maintaining the familiar. So when you start making progress, your body doesn't celebrate, okay? It panics. It starts manufacturing reasons why you should stop. Fatigue comes out of nowhere. Mental fog when you're about to sit down and do work. You feel flat in emotions when you try to take action. Oh, sudden emergencies need your attention. I want you to think about something. About the last time you were making real progress and suddenly you lost motivation. What happened right before that? Did you suddenly feel exhausted for no reason? Did you get sick? Did some drama pop up that needed your attention? That was not coincidence, my friend. That was your biology trying to pull you back to your program baseline. Because at the nervous system level, your autonomic nervous system has 2 modes, okay? Sympathetic, parasympathetic, okay? Sympathetic is fight or flight, okay? Parasympathetic is rest and digest. I got lazy. So if you've spent years in survival mode, in sympathetic mode, stressed out about money, anxious about the future, worried about your health, your entire nervous system has been predominantly in sympathetic mode. This is your normal baseline. So if you start meditating, doing the inner work, and shifting from parasympathetic mode, and you start feeling calm, safe, peaceful, abundant, your nervous system goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. This don't feel like us. We're supposed to be high on alert. We're supposed to be scanning for danger. And that triggers a stress response to bring you back into sympathetic mode. Because that's what feels familiar. Now, this is why you can have a peaceful meditation, feel amazing, and then maybe within an hour, you're anxious about something that doesn't even matter. Because your nervous system is trying to restore the familiar. Okay? But here's what it looks like when you embody this understanding. Let's say you're making progress, you feel good, then around a week or 2 hits, you wake up, no motivation, brain fog, your mind saying, what's the point? But instead, recognize your nervous system is trying to put you back into that familiar response. Just say, I see you, but we're not going to go back there, okay? And take action anyway, even when you don't feel like it. Not from motivation, but from commitment. You meditate, even if you don't feel like it. Take aligned action, even though it feels heavy. Stay in your new frequency, even though your body is screaming to go back to the old one. And after 2 to 3 weeks of this, something shifts. The resistance fades and you automatically lock in to parasympathetic mode. Okay? But now it's because it's coming from your new baseline. And that is when you know transformation is now permanent. I remember my own 3-week transformation. I was feeling good, making money, my business was growing. Then one morning I just woke up and my first thought was, you're going to lose it all. Not good morning, not what am I grateful for, just pure anxiety. You're going to lose it all. And for that moment, I believed it. I started spiraling, started checking my bank account obsessively, started making plans for when everything was going to fall apart. Then I caught myself. I'm like, whoa, wait, what evidence do I have that I'm going to lose it all? None. I'm making more money than I ever had. My business is growing. Clients are happy. What the fuck is this? And I realized my nervous system was trying to pull me back into sympathetic mode. Trying to pull me back to my familiar old broken anxious, struggling, efforting business owner self. And I said out loud, I see you. I know what you're trying to do to me. No, but we're not going back there. We're staying here. And I went and did my meditation. Stayed in my new frequency. And within an hour, that anxiety was gone. That is the power of recognizing and not collapsing back. Okay, I'm going to say something that you need to hear. Waiting for motivation to return while doing nothing is exactly what keeps us stuck in the old pattern. When motivation disappears, most people take it as a sign to stop. They think, I'll wait until I feel motivated again. Maybe this isn't the right time. I need to rest and recharge. Like, look, rest is important, but waiting for motivation to return before you take action, that is not rest. That is collapse. Okay? Let's talk about that. Let's dive deeper. What is the difference between rest and collapse? Okay? Rest is when you consciously choose to pause, recharge, and come back stronger. And you are still holding the new frequency, but you're just giving your body time to rest and integrate. Collapse is when you use rest as an excuse to go back to your old patterns. You stop meditating. You stop taking line action. You slip back into your old identity and tell yourself, I'll start again when I'm ready, when I feel ready. Rest moves you forward. Collapse moves you backwards. The motivation returns when you keep moving without it. When you take action from commitment rather than feeling. This teaches your nervous system that your new reality is safe. And after 2 to 3 weeks of moving without motivation, your body adjusts and motivation returns naturally. But now it's coming from your new baseline, not from your old one. I remember a client who was stuck in this pattern for years. Okay, she'd make like progress for a week or two, then she'd lose motivation and it'd collapse back. And then she'd beat herself up, wait a few months, then try again. Wait a few months, same cycle over and over. So when she came to me, I told her, okay, next time you lose motivation, you are not going to stop. You're going to keep moving anyway. Okay, not from motivation, but from commitment. And there's something about paying someone and investing in yourself that hardwires that commitment. And she looked at me like I was crazy. She said, but how do I know? How do I take action when I don't feel like it? I just said, just do it. Don't wait for the feeling. You take the action and the feeling follows. She did not believe me. But she trusted me enough to try it. And she was committed. So when day 10 hit her and her motivation disappeared, she says, I don't want to meditate. Kev, I don't want to meditate. I don't want to do anything. But I'm going to do it anyway. And she did. She meditated even though she didn't feel like it. She took aligned action even though it felt heavy. And then 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, she texted me again and she said the motivation is back, but it feels different. It's not frantic. It's not desperate energy. It's this calm, steady peace coming from a deeper place. That's because it was coming from her new baseline. And within 90 days, she landed her first 6-figure job, and she completely broke a 6-year cycle of self-sabotage. That is the difference between people who have temporary breakthroughs and people who create permanent transformation. Temporary breakthrough people move when they feel motivated, stop when they don't. Permanent transformational people move regardless of how they feel, knowing the feeling will catch up. But for you, which one are you going to be? So here's what I want you to do. If you're going to be a permanent transformation person, for the next 21 days, commit to taking one aligned action every single day, regardless of how you feel. It doesn't have to be big. It can just be 10 minutes of meditation, walking in the nature, writing in your journal, expressing your feelings and thoughts, okay? Doing one thing your higher self would do, just one action, every single day, no matter what. Because here's what happens after 21 days of consistent action. Your nervous system reorganizes, your new baseline locks into place, and now your motivation returns, but now it's permanent. Let's bring it all back, okay? Remember, your motivation doesn't disappear. Your nervous system detected you're exceeding your familiar reality and it hit the brakes. Remember the familiar reality ceiling. And it's the biological mechanism, not a personal failure. Secondly, the progress you made triggered your body's alarm system, and it thinks you're in danger. Your cells are chemically addicted to your old emotional state. And when you generate new chemistry, they go into withdrawal. Okay? It's like chaos versus peace, and they're at war with each other. Thirdly, you're not losing motivation. You are just in the withdrawal phase that happens before every breakthrough. Just push through it. Oh yes. Next is your body is trying to protect your old reality, even though you consciously want to change it. Okay? That is, your nervous system's job is to maintain the familiar, and it will manufacture reasons to pull you back. And then the motivation will return, but only if you don't collapse back. Okay? When it disappears. But it has to come from a place of commitment, not feeling. And that, my friend, is how you teach your nervous system that the new reality is safe. That is the real work. The biological work, the nervous system work, the stuff that actually creates permanent change. And if you want my help in this, directly with me, if you want help moving through this withdrawal phase without collapsing back, check out the link in the description. Book an alignment session with me or my team, and we'll map out exactly where your nervous system is hitting the brakes. We're going to identify the specific patterns keeping you stuck and create a custom plan to move you through it. And the reason why we call it identity frequency mapping, and it's specifically designed for people who understand things intellectually, but keep hitting the invisible ceiling. But real transformation requires you to move through the discomfort of your body, not recognizing you anymore. Because we have been conditioned to believe that if something feels hard or uncomfortable, we're doing it wrong. Right? But transformation is supposed to feel uncomfortable. And it's not because you're forcing anything, but because your body is just adjusting to a new frequency. So when you lose motivation during progress, it's actually a sign that you're doing it right. Your body is in the process of recalibrating to your new reality. Think of if you lived in New York City, hustling, bustling, chaotic, and you moved to Alabama, where it's a peaceful country town. Your body needs to adjust from the chaos to the peace. So the discomfort is not a stop sign. It's a marker showing you that you're in the transformation zone. Keep going. And this is where most people quit, right here. Right before the biological clock clicks in. The new baseline clicks in, okay? And so, when you hit that withdrawal phase, when the motivation disappears and everything feels impossible, don't collapse. Because now you understand what is happening biologically. Okay, you're not failing, but that is the closest to a breakthrough. Don't be like most people. And I want to remind you that you are not broken. You're not undisciplined. You don't need healing. You're not lacking willpower. You're just in the withdrawal phase. And if you can just hold steady for 2 to 3 weeks without collapsing back, your nervous system will be organized. Your new baseline will lock in and the motivation will return. But it's now permanent. This is the bridge between your old reality and your new one. And you are standing right in the middle of it. That is you, okay? You're right here. That's you. And when you're right there, standing in the middle of it, don't turn back. Okay? You've got this.